So back in August last year, I made a how-to video of me making a video. I know it sounds a bit weird and all that, but I was out in the middle of Sweden in the forest, and it was just epic. The location, the possibilities of filming it and everything else. So I got every single bit of equipment and camera and everything else, including the one you're looking at there now, and I basically I made a video whilst I was making a video. I thought at some stage it'd be quite funny to make a how-to video or a behind-the-scenes video of how I do all these shots, because I get quite a lot of questions about how did you get that shot or how did you get that shot. This video is sponsored by Excel Hosting. If you're looking for a domain name, web hosting or amazing email, go to excelhosting.uk and sign up today. So let's start off with showing you what was actually in the video, because I mean, you might be shocked because the amount of time that something gets shown in a video to the amount of time that it's taken to record might shock you a little bit. But anyway, let's get to it. So without further ado, here's what I showed in the films. So that sequence you just watched was actually across two different videos, and the total amount of time that those sequences were included in those two videos was 2 minutes, so 60 seconds per video. So whilst this isn't all about editing is part of it, but the other thing I wanted to put down was every bit of footage that I took to make this on the timeline, so you can see the time it took to put it all together. So we know it was 2 minutes of time that I put in the video. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes of recording. So you'll notice as well that things are not really color graded. So once I've done everything from the drone footage or the 360 or whatever it is I'm using, I will color grade. It takes a lot of effort to color grade and get it all looking nice like that. I'm using to film today is an Insta360 1X version 2 360 camera, a DJI Mavic 3 drone. There may be some clips on this, which is a Sony ZV-1. I'll also be using my phone, and that is an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'll also be using an Osmo Action. So I've got to give you enough shots that you can see movement that's going on, and enough bigger shots that's going to give you the whole sort of space of where we're at. So that's the drone, the big high shots. 360 camera is going to be the closer shots to get the action bits. Nervous now, because I know that I've got something to do. I've got a target, I've got to film it. So I'm going to explain now that I'm on a private forest road. There are no restrictions on where I'm flying or anything like that. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear before we start off. So drone is on the dash. Set that recording. And this shot is just going to be me driving past in the whole scene. So you're going to get an ultra wide view of where I am. So in this shot, it's a shot down. Get something really interesting in that landscape, all the rocks and that. And then drive past. So now I'm going to get a drone shot coming towards. Now we're going to just do a follow me shot. Literally just drive forward and then it's just going to follow me. And then we get a nice shot of that for a little bit as well. And now same shot again, but I'm following from the front. So the drone is now flying backwards. One of the interesting bits now, because it's actually lost me. So I have to tell it where I am again. It's basically because of the trees. And tell it which format we're doing again. So front facing format, follow me. Right, basically yeah, if the trees get in the way, then if there's too many trees it can lose the tracking, which is obviously a pain. Now one of the beauties about the Mavic 3 in terms of tracking and speed and everything like that is it's much better at tracking than the Air 2S ever was, or the Air 2 ever was. So it can fly faster, it can also fly longer as well. So on one battery I can do all these shots and it's all going to be fine. So what I can do as well is change the angle that the drone's flying at. So if I want to get like a more of a wider overview of where we're flying through, I can tell the drone to fly back from my position. Right, so it's actually lost me, so that's going to give me an opportunity to do another shot now, which is I want it to follow me from the front, set it to record, do forget that sometimes, and then set off. The worst thing is I've got to do now is I've got to actually keep an eye on that so I know what that's filming, and the drone to make sure it doesn't fly into any trees or anything like that. And it's got sensors, but let's face it, it's a drone, it's not clever. For this shot I'm going to come down the same hill I've been at then, but as I go underneath the drone and up the next hill I'm going to try and raise the drone up a little bit so you get a decent shot of where it is I'm heading. What I wanted to do is drive under the drone and slowly raise the drone. So I've got to get the van in the shot and then slowly raise it up so you can keep the shot, keep the van in the same position, but reveal everywhere that it is that I'm going to be driving through. And there we go. The next one I want to do is a drive past. There's a nice lake over there, so I can get the lake in the shot and then shoot through as I drive past. And this time I'm going to use the zoom a little bit as well. Okay, so this one's shooting past. So change the zoom, change the angle, and I want to now get it with the water in the shot as well. So I'm going to reverse back a little bit. Not in shot, but left that way. Cool, that'll do. So now I've finished shooting all the shots of the van and all that kind of stuff. What I shoot now is situational shots like the forest, the lakes and all that kind of stuff. Not necessarily with the van in them even, just to give you that setting to place you in the environment that this is all going to be shot in. And so you can see lakes around, the forests, the open patches of the forest, that kind of stuff. So that's basically what I'll be shooting now for the next 5 minutes. Right, so hopefully you've got some sort of insight into how we get those drone shots. And the massive faffing about it can be sometimes to get the concept that I've just driven up a road and yeah, and now you've seen it's much more than that. Now it's 360 camera time, so we've got 360 camera suction mount, the Insta360 extension pole, and some gaffer tape to offer some sort of like other point of contact. and I want to try and get a few shots here. So I'm trying to get the ability to bring in, like from the drone, boom, close to the van. We've got the first point of contact, which is the suction mount on the glass. The second point of contact is the cable tie going around there. So hopefully when you see that shot from that angle, you will see the van like that. Yeah, so the telltale sign of 360 is that shadow on the floor there. So the problem I've got is, you've seen how bumpy the road was. That'll happen a little bit. And there's not a lot I can do that. It's just the flex of that pole. Right, let's go and see what shots we can get. So just to give you an idea of, that's kind of what the view is right now. Can you see that? And then I can move it around. I can move out, move it around. So just like I've just shown I can do on the phone, here's the software for me to edit the shot. Do the same shots now up and down and see what we get. Just have to make sure I don't run into any trees or anything like that. So for these types of shots, this is really cool. Like I say, just the fact that you can pinch out a little bit and yeah, just really get some cool angles of the shots and things like that. Okay, that's 2 minutes of that. Try and get a few minutes of each shot. So now I want possibly the back of the van or the side of the van, something like that. Something that places the van here. And then the next shot after that is close to the ground. There we go. So suction cup on the side. And then tie ripped it around the security camera point. Hopefully that'll come across all right anyway. So the beauty about doing these types of shots is that it's a generic forest. So the fact I can drive up and drive back and do the shots through the side of the forest and all that kind of thing is that I'm driving around many different angles. So I'm getting different angles of the sun. So it's not just like I'm getting one angle of the sun. So it'll make the shot look weird then. And what I'm actually getting is many different angles of the sun. Even as I'm driving the van around, I can see the sun changing angle over the top of the van from the rear shot I've got now. My whole sort of thing about film is that I need to make it feel like I was there again. I can remember all the things that aren't in the film, so I can remember everything that I did and all that kind of stuff, like, you know, like I was there because I was there. I need to make sure that when I make the film, I am including those types of memories, if you like, or glimpses, so that you, the viewer, really do feel like you were there. That's my view anyway. And this is the other bit that I say about camera gear, is they're a tool. As much as I'm a tool for coming up with all this crazy idea and that, the camera gear's a tool as well. So I try not to break them, but obviously if they break whilst being used as a tool, so be it. So yeah, that one now is going to get the road shot. All the stuff that's coming off the tyres and stuff that's being kicked up. So yeah, that kind of shot. Fortunately the camera's still there. It's not smashed. So let's take it off and give that lens a clean. So same sort of thing again, but it's for the front wheel now, and it's also going to get quite a good view up the road as well without having too much of the van in the shot. So you're going to get that kind of shot. And that's 2 minutes of that shot. So let's go change the camera angle again. So far we've got way high up, so you can see where in the world it is roughly that we are. Then we've got follow the drone, some close-ups, some drone passing, some reveal shots of drone, follow the drone from different angles. And then we've got 360, we've been able to see the front of the van and me driving, the rear of the van and where we're going. So you can come in with drone down, drone back up, all that kind of stuff. We've got the back of the van, so you can see where the back's going and from behind, up high and down below. We've got obviously the front from up high as well, showing me driving, and down below. So the next shot now has got to be me driving and the mirror. So what we're trying to get now is the fact that you'll see my hands on the wheel and steering and stuff like that, and then you'll see a reflection of where we've been. Okay, 2 minutes of this one. Time consuming, isn't it? And this is just getting the camera shots. Right, and then we need some more driving shots, like driving past. Obviously we've done all the drone ones now, so we need to get more realistic ones, more like they were passing you as a person stood there. So that's where we have multiple different poles and a nice little tripod, widespread foot sort of tripod there. You get to watch me now. Go hunt a camera. The beautiful thing about 360, you can have a moving shot, a static shot. I can just have a shot of the woods if I wanted to. Right, final shot is the 360, and that's just parking up. Obviously there's been lots more shots as well, and those are me driving and stuff like that. So yeah, all right, let's get this one set up. So now I've finished shooting all the shots of the van and all that kind of stuff. What I shoot now is situational shots, like the forest, the lake, not necessarily with the van in them even, just to give you that setting to place you in the environment that this is all going to be shot in. And so you can see lakes around, the forests, the open patches of the forest, that kind of stuff. So that's basically what I'll be shooting now for the next 5 minutes. Obviously that's gone over cameras and there we go, other bits and bobs. I'm going to do a full review of camera gear in another video, so watch out for that. I just thought that the concept of making one of these types of videos was perhaps lost on a lot of people. How I want to tell the story of me getting from one point to another and then stopping, and how I recreate that in the timeline and sequences that I've got in my head. So it's a creative process, if you want to use fancy words. Otherwise it's you know, just one level above winging it. But yeah, there's no sort of special skills or anything like that. It's just get it in your head that if you're telling a story about moving from one point to another, arriving at that point, and you want to show motion, then you know there are several ways about that. Shove one of them in your window, that shows it, works fine. Shove one of those at the side of the road and you can pan past, or just show someone just moving past with a static shot, or you can have a static shot zooming in or whatever. But yeah, it's just putting it all together so that it's immersive when the person watches it, when the viewer watches it. It's immersive so they feel like they're traveling with you. So from me setting off originally this morning to say, right, I'm going to do that now, setting up all the shots, getting the drone out, changing the cameras, running into the forest, putting the cameras, changing the cameras on the van and all that, 3 hours. 3 hours of just recording the shot. So that's driving, recording the shot, deciding on the angles and stuff like that. It's 3 hours. And now, having everything in front of me, I then have to download it to my laptop, and I'm running out of hard drives and everything. So I have 2 types of editing stuff. So that's my SSD I edit from, and these are my 4TB USB-C drives that I archive to. I've got, I think, 6 to 8, 6 of these with me, loads of others up there. These are 4TB, and I archive all my other footage off there. So that's another thing, is, you know, like these are 100 quid a pop. As you know, I had to replace the drone, 2.5 grand. This all costs a lot of money. They're 500-600 quid. You know, they're sort of like 300 quid-ish, thereabouts. So it all costs a lot of money. And all this time and the diesel running up and down and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people will never ever appreciate that you put in all that amount of money, all that effort and time. They might even be the small minority of people who go, oh, I hate this bit, I just want to hear what he's got to say, and they go fast forward, fast forward. But you know, I like watching it back, so it's good enough for me anyway. And Tom, thanks very much, mate. Thomas Heaton, go watch Thomas Heaton, is texting me at the moment to say he's frustrated as I am about all this YouTubey stuff, but he thinks it's epic, some of the spots I'm getting to. So if you might comment down below, I don't know, but yeah, if you've not watched him, I'll put his channel details where you go watch Thomas Heaton. He is an excellent photographer, and he gets out there and explores some wild stuff too. So now you've watched all that and you've seen obviously what was included in a video and the effort that it took to get all of those shots. I just want to know, do you think it's worth it? Answer in the comments section down below. Do you make videos? And if so, do you go crazy on shots like I do and get all the different angles? You might be asking, why am I doing all this? The easy answer to that is I'm a nutter, but I love it. If you found it interesting, let me know down below. If you didn't, let me know down below. And I'll catch you on the next video. See you later, folks. Bye.